thanks to my wife, who is creating all kinds of great creations in crochet, including how to make patterns. Or including patterns. She's now making her own patterns. I have seen a whole lot of people doing Zoom calls since this crisis has come about. And I know there are a lot of people that use a Mac. And I'm going to say if you're using Windows, I'll see you tomorrow. Because I'm not going to talk about Windows. But there are people that are starting to get more advanced with what they're doing on their Mac. And they're now doing Facebook Lives like I do. Now, I'm using a tool called Ecamm to do this broadcast, which I have combined with another tool called Restream, which takes this Facebook feed, or takes this feed, this live stream, and sends it to Facebook, a Facebook page, a Facebook group. It also goes over to YouTube, it goes over to Twitch, and it goes over to Twitter and Periscope. So it's going to all of those places simultaneously. Now this Ecamm's a little bit of an advanced thing, but let's suppose you're either doing a Facebook Live in the browser or you're doing a Zoom call. And we're going to start really simple, and we're going to talk about how to get audio from one thing to another. Now, what typically, easy enough for me to say, and hi, by the way, say hi. Do me a favor and comment if you happen to feel excited and happy and it's Friday. Comments always make me happy because it means I know that there's people resonating with what I'm doing. Bless your heart. Closed space over from Twitch says hi. Thank you. So this is more of an advanced topic, but it also came about because I've been doing streaming for quite a while now. And the more you do, the more you potentially, not everybody wants to do it, but the more you want to do advanced things. For example, you might bring in a guest and want to know how to do that, so we could talk about that another day. But sometimes let's go really simple, and let's just suppose that you are going to do a demonstration of something. Let's suppose you're going to take a YouTube video and you want to share that with your people on a Zoom call. Let's just go that direction. So I'm going to open Zoom on my machine because I forgot to open that before we started. And that's our simple goal. We want to take a video off of YouTube into Zoom, okay? And we want to be able to take the audio with that. Now, typically when you go into Zoom, what you get is the system audio, or you get a microphone. And let me rephrase that. Typically, I think your default is a microphone, right? It does not pick up a video. So if somebody plays a video, and I have seen people. Hi, Joanne. Thanks for popping in. I have seen people that have done a Zoom call or even a Facebook broadcast, and what they do is they turn up the volume on their computer really loud, and then they play a video because they want that audio sent over to all the people, and they don't understand how they can possibly do what they want to do to get the people to hear the audio. I remember one young lady that has like a podcast. And she did it by recording on a computer, but then in order to start it, she had a little theme music, and so she'd put the microphone down close to the speakers on her computer. Now, it works. I'm not saying that's a horrible thing to do. It works. But if you want to seem a little bit more professional, you got to jump through a few more hoops to make that happen. Now, I'm going through this because I know I've been through this myself. And I know there's probably people, in fact, there was a friend of mine in the Dream 100 who asked me the other day how she could get audio from one thing into Zoom. And so this is an explanation. Now, it does require buying a piece of software. There used to be a free tool that you could get out on the web, and as far as I know, that's no longer available. I believe the only way to really do this, well, okay, let me rephrase that. There's multiple ways to do this. The hard way, in my opinion, is to buy an external mixer. And when you have an external mixer, then you have a device that you can put the feeds into, and then that becomes, blah, blah, blah. I don't like that option. I want to do it all in software. I want to do it inside the computer so I don't have to buy a whole bunch of extra external stuff. All right, so with that in mind, the only way I'm aware of right now, and there may be others, to do this on a Mac is with a program called Audio Hijack. And you can get that program over, I forgot, Rogue Amoeba is the name of the company that puts that out. And I don't remember, it's like $60, $70. It's not cheap, but it's a one-time investment. You don't have to pay monthly, and you can do some really cool stuff with it when you really start getting in and playing with it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do kind of a demonstration to show you how to do this with Audio Hijack, because that's the tool I use. Now, they also have another tool called Loopback, which I actually am using in combination with Audio Hijack to do like this broadcast. But we don't need that for what you need to do if you're going to do something like this. So let me switch over to my computer view, and let me get this window out of the way so that I can make sure that I see what's broadcasting, and I have my picture in this upper corner. Where's the thing? Can I do that? Is this the right button? No, that's not it. I'm just going to close me for now. Okay. And so what you see here is the Zoom window, and I'm going to do Command comma to open the settings, because we're going to play in the settings a bit. And in the audio section, which seems to be the default thing that comes up, because apparently most people need to do that, you see this bar showing the input, what I'm saying up and down, right? Now, right now, I have it set to Loopback, and I mentioned earlier that I was using Loopback. Now, Loopback is, just pretend this is not the, I guess I need to let's just leave that alone for right now. Typically, what would come up would be that you would have the built-in microphone, which is, I'm using an iMac, so there's a microphone in the computer, and that's what you would be using to broadcast. Now, I also have my external mic called a Rode Podcaster, which is what Astro hangs out on. I also have a microphone inside my webcam, so that's coming in if I wanted to use that one, but I don't. And then there's Loopback. Now, I'm going to leave it on. Well, I'll just leave it on, because that's Zoom right now. You ought to still be able to hear me, because we're not talking over Zoom, we're talking over Ecamm. Now, if I switch over to Audio Hijack, and Zoom seems to leave their settings window in front all the time, so I'm going to put it down here in the corner, because I want you to still be able to see it. Now, for now, I'm just going to move it off to the second monitor. So this screen is Audio Hijack. They have sessions, recording, and a schedule, and I've never done the schedule thing, so I end up looking at recordings, so you can do recordings of things. Let's suppose you want to grab the audio from a music video on YouTube. You can do that. And I'm going to show you how to do that. We're going to basically do that here. And then sessions are different ways of bringing in audio. Now this might be a little confusing, might still be over your head. Don't be shy, ask questions if I haven't explained this well enough. But let's just create a new session and maybe it will make more sense. So I'm going to do a, they give you some templates to choose from. Let's just pick application audio, for example, because what we're going to do is we're going to take the audio from YouTube. They have a recorder in here if you want to do the recording, which is what I was mentioning before, and they have an output device. And right now, this is defaulted to the Ecamm Live app. Now, each one of these things you see I can click on, and a settings dialog pops up for each one. So I have, if I switch over to Safari, I have this YouTube video queued up to play of an ibex defying gravity and climbing a dam. So I just picked a YouTube video. And we're using Safari. Now, typically, again, you can't take the audio. By the default settings of Zoom, the only thing we had, if you remember, I have it currently set for built-in microphone. Right? If you're doing this on a laptop, that's the input that you're having in Zoom. And if you were to play a video, it's not going to go into Zoom unless you have the microphone close enough for people to hear it. And I can, if I play, push play, because I have my system set up, you can hear that the audio plays, right?
The rock that was used to build this dam.
The rock. So, right now I have my system set up so that you can hear that with my audio hijack settings. So, what we then do is we go back to Audio Hijack, and we're going to select the application of Safari. I'm going to turn the recorder off because I don't really need that right now. But, so what we have is the source, and then we have the output. Very simple little dialogue. And we can select where we want that audio to go. Now, I already have, as I mentioned before, loopback audio set up. But notice that because I have Zoom open, I can do Zoom audio device. And so what happens is that if I leave this on, the audio will go over to Zoom. And theoretically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to quit Zoom. You can't see that, but I'm not in Zoom. So let me just quit Zoom. Let me switch over to Zoom and quit Zoom. I think if I open Zoom again, that I'm going to do Command period to bring up the preferences, and hopefully it's not there. All right. Well, see, part of the problem in doing a demo like this is I've already got things set up, and so it's not popping up the way I thought it was going to work. So I'm a little frustrated. So it's not a perfect example, I'm sorry, but hopefully you get the idea of how this works. And maybe, I bet that's, so the last, maybe I know why. The last part of the process is that right now nothing is happening. You see these lines here? These lines show the audio going through. So if I click the start button down here, you see that these lines have changed, but nothing is still happening, right? There isn't any apparent audio going through. But if I come over to Safari and I press play,
contains essential minerals that have been dissolved in water.
Because it's really loud. and I go
Minerals
over
rich
to Audio
in the
Hijack, you
calcium
now
that these
see
animals need to stay strong.
that the audio is going from Safari
And
into
they'll
the Zoom
scale it
output
down
device.
to get them.
Now let's go back over to Zoom and open the preferences
Una situazione estrema,
and see if that's
diciamo
here.
così, di
No, it's still not here.
rapidità,
Eh,
la possibilità
It's
di
because I have my
cadenciare
system already set up and already doing stuff, right? And I can't really necessarily turn it off
Without these salts
without
and
messing
minerals,
up
their bones won't
what I'm
grow.
doing.
Their nervous systems
Really the
and
problem.
muscles.
All right, so my belief is that you would end up with a Zoom thing listed here to pick. I just get humored by my own setup. It's all right, but hopefully you get the idea. That's how you use something like Audio Hijack. Now, if you let me go back, so we're in Audio Hijack, and I love that Zoom leaves this thing on floating on top. So I'm gonna move it out of the way. And this is open, right? So if I have Safari playing, you still see that. If I turn this off,
Movement and
that
coordination
stops
can
happening.
falter.
Io ho abbastanza paura quando sono in situazioni molto...
The other thing I have, so I'm going to show you my complete audio setup, and this is what that looks like inside of Audio Hijack. This is the one that I use all of the time to do my broadcasts. So what I have done is set up special things with Audio Hijack. And let's look at the top row, for example. So I have the input device of Rode Podcaster, the 10-band equalizer. So if you click that, then you can actually customize the way your sounds come through if you want to fool with that kind of stuff. And they have, of course, presets. But I'm not going to fool with that. And then they have some additional things like this volume and a reverb unit. And I grabbed a lot of these things from a guy that does audio. And notice my voice changes when I turn that on. I can't hear it because I have the output device of headphones turned off, but you guys can hear it because it's going into loopback. And loopback is what's sending it over to Ecamm. Totally confused? Yeah, I bet I've lost just about everybody at this point. But let me turn this off because we don't need to have my reverb. But one of the things that I have down here are different applications. Like I have Stream Deck, and that's the device that I use to do my goofy little sounds, like the cash register. You guys would not hear those things unless I had this set up. Because what I do is I take the Stream Deck into all the audio output over to Loopback, and Loopback is what sends it over to Zoom. Now again, you don't need that, but I did it because I needed a different special setup. But you also notice that I have, and one of the fun things about this is like I can turn the headphones on and off. If I turn this on, then I hear an echo in my head because I'm wearing my headphones. And I don't need to hear myself speak, but I need the audio to go over to Zoom, for example. Make sense? Anybody? And this is absolutely overkill for just about everybody in this group that's listening. Now, I also set up Safari, and I set up Apple Music to go through my equalizer and to give me more bass and treble and stuff. And I also have Chrome set up to go in, but it's currently turned off. And you can also capture the system audio. You see down here at the very bottom, if you want the bells and beeps of your computer to go through, then you can set this one up. Or you could just simply go back to the application audio one that I was fooling with before, and instead of application, you could put the system audio in there. So the way that works, you see over here on the side, there are sources. So I could theoretically put system audio in here and get rid of the Safari one by doing Command Delete, and just have all of the system audio going in to the output device. And of course you can change these things, right? It doesn't make any sense to put it into my microphone because that's not an output device, that's an input device. Hopefully you get the idea that there are lots of different choices. The thing with Audio Hijack is that it gives you the ability to customize the way your audio goes from one program to another. I mean, that's the real killer feature here, is that you can send your audio from one place to another that you couldn't normally do. All right, now, I laugh, not because I think you guys are necessarily uneducated about this, but it's an advanced topic, and I know that. It's one of those things that, unless you need it, you probably don't need to go there. But it is a common question for people to say, well, I want to do a Zoom call, or maybe I want to even just do a recording. Now, some of the typical tools like ScreenFlow or Camtasia can record your system audio. But, you know, I can envision times where maybe you want to record Skype audio, but not system audio, and I don't know, it gets a little convoluted, but there are times where you want this, but you don't want that. And that's where Audio Hijack comes into play, is the ability to really customize what audio goes from here to there. For example, that little pop-up, you didn't see it, because I'm not sharing my screen, but a pop-up from a notification just came in, and it did an audio thing. You guys didn't hear it. You didn't see it because I wasn't sharing the screen, but you didn't hear it because I'm not hijacking the system audio into this feed, because I have that set up where I have the microphone and the Stream Deck and a specific application set up to go into the feed to Zoom, so that I know for sure that the beeps and the bops on my computer aren't going to come over to you guys and interrupt what's going on. If I were only setting it to system audio, then everything would go through. Clear as mud? Probably. So that's what I have. If you have a special task where you need to send something into something like Zoom, then potentially you need a tool like Audio Hijack to be able to take the audio from Safari, for example, into Audio Hijack and then route it over to Zoom so that you can impress the hell out of your friends and neighbors on your live. Now, what was Suzanne, she is setting, maybe this is a better example. So she's teaching yoga, and she wants to be able to take, hi Dave Hubley's here. She wants to be able to take the audio, she wants to do like a Zoom call for teaching people yoga, right? And what she's doing is she has a microphone. She was using a Rode video mic. I have one over here. She's doing a Rode video mic, but she's too far away from it. And then she's got like a boombox or audio playing music on Apple Music on her laptop. And it's just not, it doesn't sound very good because either she's too loud or she's too quiet and the music's too loud or whatever. And she can record separately, which where I started to go to advise her was, well, get a lav mic for you, put a recorder on your hip, and then record the music separately and then mix it all in post. And she's like, well, maybe I want to do it live. Well, then it gets rather convoluted, right? Like I was showing you before. Especially if you have an external mic, like I use my Rode mic, which is right here that Astro is on. Then you start to need something like Audio Hijack to be able to grab those different sources and spit it out so that you're putting all of that out in your Zoom call, and to be able to control the audio levels, or to add some boost to one thing and take something away from the other. So Audio Hijack is an awesome tool when you need to really get in and tweak your audio on your Mac system. Whew. All right, so that's the entirety of a very convoluted system. Convoluted, not system, but question. Because when you start getting into this stuff, it can get a little picky. But you don't have to go to all external things. You don't have to go to a mixer. That is the first, if you start talking to audio people, they're going to tell you that you need an external mixer. And I'm laughing because of Dave's question. You're going to need an external mixer. And I say, oh no, I want to do it all in the computer because I know the computer is capable of doing all that stuff. I don't want another external box. Now, I ended up with one for the Stream Deck, but that's a whole nother topic. Dave's question. You missed the beginning of the story, Dave, because I don't do Windows. That's why I'm laughing. I don't do Windows. I haven't touched Windows since Boeing laid me off in 2010. Don't touch Windows. This is all Mac. If you've got a Mac, then let's talk. If you're doing Windows, I don't do Windows. Sorry, Dave. How are things, Dave? Let's not go into that. So if you have any questions, besides doing this on Mac or Windows, I'll stick around for a couple of seconds, type in really fast, hey, I have a question, so that I know you're working on a question. Otherwise, we're going to be done for this. Now, I'll do a little stalling technique. If you, Dave says I'm great for now. If you are a business owner and you need to be growing your leads, tune in Monday. I must not have pushed that hard enough. There you go. Tune in Monday. Go to giveawayrocket.com/win-now and find out about my free session that I'm doing on Monday morning to show you how to grow your email list to the moon with contests. And they're going to be highly targeted, very interested people in what you have to offer. They're not going to be just freebie seekers, because that's the big fear that people have if they're going to do list building, is they're going to get a whole bunch of people on their list that don't care about what their product or offer is. So I'm going to show you how to do that, and it's free on Monday. And I'm not going to pitch you anything at the end. It's not a sale of my big product. I'm going to show you the overview of how to get it done quickly. Okay, so go to Win Now if you want to sign up for that. Let me know if you have any questions. Always happy to serve you. Oh, by the way, if you want to know what other things I am going to talk about, go to giveawayrocket.com/calfree and see what my calendar is, because I've started putting some sessions on there about what I'm going to talk about. So if you go to giveawayrocket.com/calfree, you can see what my schedule is for my upcoming broadcasts. Always happy to answer questions. Any way that I can help you grow your business, please ping me. I'm on Facebook Messenger. I am available, just type a comment down below. Let me know what help you need, and I will talk to you again, because I know I have a session tomorrow. Pop in on the calendar and check out what we're going to talk about over the weekend and coming up Monday. All right, thanks for tuning in. We will talk to you again